The new Outlander Season 8 trailer hits like a storm at sea, and you can feel it in your chest from the first frame, as if time itself is tearing the Fraser family apart and asking a cruel price for every love they have ever fought to protect before. We open the trailer shot by shot. We need to stand in the story where the characters now stand. The last season scattered them like leaves on a battlefield. Claire and Jamie have crossed oceans and wars to hold on to each other, but the world around them keeps breaking. The land they tried to turn into a home has known fire and grief. Friends have been lost. Oaths have been tested. The quiet life. They want to keep slipping away because history refuses to be quiet. In the trailer, you can feel that weight. Every line on Jamie's face looks like a map of the roads he took to keep his family safe. Every breath from Claire sounds like a choice. Between love and duty, the war is no longer a distant drum. It is near, and it is hungry. You hear the iron beat of marching feet and the tremble of horses, and you know that this season will not offer easy days. The camera catches Claire looking toward a horizon that seems to pull her forward and pull her away at the same time. Jamie reaches for her hand, and for one small second the world is calm. Then the cut steals that calm and throws us back into danger. The trailer does not say it out loud, but you can tell that even a strong love can be hurt by a rough century. Across time, the children are still paying the cost of choices they did not make. Brianna is torn between two eras and two kinds of safety. Roger carries the ache of a man who has seen how time can close like a door and lock you out from the people you love. The trailer shows them in quick flashes that feel like warnings. A letter sealed in wax. A hallway lit by cold light. A child's smile fading as if a clock has begun to count down. These images are simple but heavy. They tell us that family is the heart of this story and that the heart is under attack. The land itself seems to speak in this trailer. Forests look darker. Skies hang low with storm clouds. Water runs fast as if it knows someone will soon need to cross at risk. Even the quiet shots feel loud. A hand on a railing. A ribbon caught on a branch. A ring turning in someone's palm. These are not random details. They are signs. They whisper that the final chapter will make every symbol matter and that nothing the Frasers carry is only an object. Every item is a memory, and every memory is a possible goodbye. Claire has always used her skill to fight death, but the trailer suggests a season where the fight may not be fair. We see the flash of her tools. We hear her voice steady yet thin with fear, as if she knows the limits of what a human can change when history presses hard. Jamie has always met danger head-on. Here his courage looks like a man walking into fire with clear eyes. He is not fearless, he's faithful. That is more powerful and also more painful, because faith can be broken. By the end of this first pass, the shape of the season begins to form. It is the shape of a circle closing. Old debts return, old roads cross with new ones. Love stands in the open with no place left to hide. The trailer promises that choices will not be clean. Someone will leave. Someone will stay. Someone will be lost for a time that might feel like forever. The story is not telling us to despair. It is warning us to brace ourselves. This is where we begin. With a family held together by threads that have survived storms yet now face the largest wave, with lovers who have beaten time and must try to beat it once more, with children who must learn what it costs to belong to a name like Fraser. The trailer does not offer comfort, it offers truth. The path to the end will be beautiful and brutal, and if we care about these people, we must be ready to walk that path with them until the last frame fades to black. You said the trailer does not move in a straight line, but instead throws pieces at us like fragments of a broken mirror. Each shard shows something different, and yet they all cut the same way. One moment we see Jamie standing on a battlefield, his figure outlined against smoke and fire, the kind of image that makes you wonder if history is finally ready to swallow him whole. Then it cuts to Claire, her eyes wet not from fear, but from the kind of grief that only comes when you know you are about to lose something you cannot replace. These images are not random scenes. They're warnings disguised as glimpses. A puzzle the audience must solve with their heart, before their mind can catch up. The most haunting moment in the trailer comes when the sound drops and you hear only A faint echo of voices layered over a shot of Brianna clutching her child. The silence is heavy, almost cruel, as if the trailer itself wants us to sit with the weight of loss. For a story that has always balanced hope with pain, this silence is different. It feels final, feels like goodbye. The editors know exactly how to hurt us with what they leave out. They do not need to show blood or death. They only need to let a mother's eyes tell us that time will not show mercy. Another striking detail is the repeated use of doors and thresholds. Claire walks through a dim corridor. Roger pushes open an old wooden door. Brianna pauses on the edge of a modern hallway. These are not just set choices. Outlander has always used doors as symbols of time, of choices, of destiny. Every door in this trailer looks like a test. Do you step forward and risk losing the world you know, or do you stay and risk never seeing the people you love again? The fact that these shots appear again and again suggests that this season will test every character with a final crossing they may not survive. The music in the trailer shifts like a tide. It begins with a low hum, almost like the drone of war. Drums, and then rises into a mournful string that cracks like a heart breaking in slow motion. The score does not race. It drags us, like time dragging someone who does not want to leave. Every note feels heavy. Every pause feels sharp. Outlander has always known how to use sound to tear us apart, but this is different. It does not promise relief. It does not promise reunion. It promises a reckoning. The camera work itself speaks of endings. Shots linger longer than usual, as if the directors want us to memorize these faces before they vanish. Claire's hand on Jamie's chest, Roger's face half in shadow. Brianna standing in a doorway as if caught between centuries. Even the landscapes look like farewells. A hill bathed in twilight, a river fading into fog. The story is telling us without words that every scene could be the last time we see these places. These people, this world, what makes this trailer unique, is not only what it shows, but how it makes us feel, the weight of history pressing down. It reminds us that the Frasers are not heroes in a legend. They are people caught in the jaws of time. They bleed, they break, they love too deeply, and because of that, they lose more than most. The devastation here is not just about war or death. It is about love being tested by time one final time, and the haunting thought that even love may not be enough. The third wave of the trailer crashes in, not with action, but with faces. It lingers on the human cost, zooming so close that every wrinkle, every tremble of the lip feels like a confession. Jamie does not roar here, he whispers, and that whisper is heavier than any battlefield cry. His eyes carry storms of battles fought and nights spent praying that love alone could hold back history. Claire's face is not the face of a healer here. It is the face of someone who has given everything and fears there is nothing left to give. The camera does not allow us to look away. It demands we see their exhaustion, their quiet courage, their private dread. This is not a story about victory. It is a story about how much of yourself you must lose before you can say you truly lived. The trailer also teases us with symbols of farewell. A candle burning low in a dark room, a letter folded with shaking hands, a horse left standing alone in a misty field. These are not simple props, they are messages. The candle says time is running out. The letter says words will remain after. People are gone. The horse says even freedom can feel empty when it waits without a rider. Outlander has always been rich with symbols, but here they are sharper, crueler, like echoes of goodbyes whispered too soon. One of the most arresting images is a shot of Brianna staring at her reflection in glass, her face doubled, split between eras. In that instant, you understand her torment. She does not live in one time, she does not belong to one world. And the reflection makes it clear that she may end up belonging to none. The trailer does not give her dialogue in this moment, but it does not need to. The silence screams the question. What happens when a person is torn between centuries and cannot anchor themselves in either? The devastation of Season 8 is not only in battles, it's lost, but in identities fractured. The sound design grows more aggressive here. We hear the faint strike of metal against metal, a sword pulled from its sheath, but beneath it runs the steady beat of a heart, The two rhythms merge until it is hard to tell which is war and which is life itself. This blending is deliberate. It reminds us that for the Frasers, war is not something that happens outside them, it is inside their very breathing. Every step they take forward is a march into danger. Every beat of their heart is a drum counting down to sacrifice. And then there is a shot that may be the most devastating of all. A child's hand slipping from an adult's grasp as the screen cuts to black. It lasts less than a second, but it sears into memory because it carries the entire weight of loss. No name is spoken, no explanation is given, but the meaning is clear. In the final season, no bond is safe, not even the bonds of parent and child. This is the kind of image that makes fans freeze the frame, rewind, and argue late into the night about what it means. The creators know this. They want us to feel unsettled. They want us to ache with questions. By the close of this section of the trailer, the tone is no longer uncertain. It is heavy, inevitable. The devastation promised by Season 8 is not a single event, but a series of losses. Each one cutting deeper because we have walked so long with these characters. The power of these moments is not that they shock us with sudden violence, but that they prepare us for the ache of slow partings. The kind of partings that leave scars long after the screen goes dark. The trailer does something unusual in its second half. Stops feeling like a preview and starts feeling like a eulogy. The voices that echo over the images are not triumphant. They are fragile, trembling, as if every character is speaking their final thoughts into the wind. Claire's voice carries first, calm but cracked, like a doctor who knows she cannot heal what is coming. Jamie's reply is quieter than ever before. It's not the booming promise of protection, but the resigned tone of a man who understands that even love has limits when history sharpens its claws. These voices do not guide us toward hope. They guide us toward acceptance, and that makes them far more devastating. The emotional themes strike harder because the trailer refuses to offer balance. Earlier seasons often paired tragedy with light, a promise that family would pull through, that love would heal. Here the scales tilt entirely toward loss. We see faces lit by firelight that flickers like a warning. We hear music that never resolves, leaving us stranded in grief without release. Even the pauses between words feel heavy, like the silence at a funeral when everyone knows the end but no one dares speak it aloud. This choice is deliberate. The creators want us to understand that. The final season will not play safe. It will wound us on purpose. It will not apologize for the pain. Fan reactions have already started pouring across forums and social channels. Some call it heartbreaking. Others say they are terrified to watch but cannot look away. Many confess that even a glimpse of Claire and Jamie facing the end together left them in tears. The word devastating appears again and again, not because the trailer shows death outright, but because it hints at something worse, the slow crumbling of love under the weight of time. Fans know the story has always promised a reckoning. Trailer confirms it is finally here. The unique emotional pull lies in how the trailer frames. The Frasers not as untouchable heroes, but as ordinary people about to face extraordinary grief. The costumes and sets may be grand, the battles fierce, but the heart of the devastation is small and intimate. A whispered promise, a hand slipping from another's grasp, the way eyes avoid each other because they know looking too long might break them. The devastation is not in spectacle, but in honesty. We are being prepared to watch beloved characters stripped of every shield until only their raw humanity remains. The most telling moment comes when Claire says in voiceover, "There are no safe harbors left." Her words are simple, but they carry the entire weight of the series. For years, the Frasers have built homes, moved across lands, braved wars, and leapt through time, searching for shelter. The trailer admits what fans have long feared. There may be no final refuge. This is not a story where peace waits at the end of the road. This is a story where the road itself is the last companion, and when it ends, so too does the dream of safety. By focusing on this theme, the trailer transforms from mere promotion into preparation. It tells the audience to ready their hearts because the final season will not comfort. It will break, it will tear, and it will demand we sit with grief the way the characters must. That is why the fan reaction feels so raw. We are not just excited for the story to continue. We are mourning it before it even begins. The trailer plants seeds that grow into endless theories, and the beauty of it lies in what it refuses to answer. Every shadow and every whispered line feels like an invitation to guess at the tragedy. Ahead, one of the clearest threads is the possibility that Jamie and Claire may face separation once again. But this time the tone suggests something final. In past seasons, separation carried the promise of reunion. The devastation in these images is that reunion no longer feels guaranteed. The way Jamie looks at Claire, steady but with the weight of goodbye in his eyes, is not the gaze of a man, confident he will find her again. It is the gaze of someone memorizing her face for the last time. Another theory rising among fans is the question of sacrifice. The trailer lingers on images of Jamie standing before smoke and battle lines, and some believe this is foreshadowing his last stand. The man who has fought through prisons, wars, betrayals may finally offer his life as the final price for his family's future. Others argue that the devastation may fall instead on Claire, whose hands are shown trembling over her medical tools, as if she knows her skills will not be enough to save the one she loves. Either way, the trailer makes one thing clear. The story is preparing us for a farewell we may not want, but cannot avoid. The theories do not stop with Jamie and Claire. Brianna's fractured reflection in glass suggests a storyline where she is forced to choose once and for all between the centuries. Some believe she will be left behind, cut off from her parents forever, raising her children in a world where their grandparents exist only in stories. Roger's haunted eyes and the repeated shots of doors suggest that his role may be that of the unwilling gatekeeper, the one who knows how to cross time but must live with the guilt of choosing who can go and who must stay. These predictions are devastating not because they promise explosions or battles, but because they threaten the most fragile bonds, the ties of family. There is also the possibility that the devastation teased in the trailer is not about death at all, but about memory. A whispered theory in fan circles suggests that Jamie or Claire may lose their memory, torn from each other not by distance or death, but by the cruel theft of identity. A scene of Claire looking into Jamie's eyes as if searching for recognition fuels this fear. What could be more devastating than standing next to the love of your life and realizing they no longer know your name? Outlander has always woven love and time together. To see time steal memory itself would be the most tragic twist of all. Even the landscapes hint at prophecy. A lone tree struck by lightning, a river swollen with rain, a sky burning red at dusk. These are not just images of nature, they are warnings. Fans have speculated that these signs echo old prophecies scattered through the books, foreshadowing that destiny will claim the Frasers no matter how far they run. This theory holds true. The devastation of Season 8 is not simply about war or politics. It is about the universe itself demanding balance, demanding that even the strongest love must pay its toll. The uniqueness of these theories is that each one circles back to the same truth. Devastation here is not loud, it is personal. The trailer does not tell us to fear armies. It tells us to fear empty chairs at the table, doors that will never open again, voices that fade before the sentence is finished. The devastation is not in what we see, but in what we dread. The brilliance of the trailer is that it leaves us drowning in dread with no clear answer, forcing us to carry that ache until the season itself reveals the final blow. The closing stretch of the trailer feels less like promotion and more like a countdown. Every frame carries the weight of a final heartbeat, as though the story itself is aware that it is saying goodbye. Instead of building toward triumph, the images lean into stillness, the kind of stillness that comes before a storm breaks everything. Apart, a long shot of Claire and Jamie walking hand in hand across a windswept field lingers until the wind almost drowns out the music. It is not a romantic image, it is a farewell disguised as love to people moving forward while the horizon seems to close in on them. The devastation here is not about what happens on the battlefield, but about what happens when you realize there's maybe no more roads left to walk together. One of the most striking choices in this final part of the trailer is the use of unfinished sentences. You hear Claire's voice start a phrase, then it cuts. We hear Jamie promise something, and the sound collapses before the words can finish. This technique unsettles because it mirrors how loss feels in real life. Sudden, incomplete, a story cut off mid-chapter. Fans have noticed these breaks and wondered if they foreshadow endings that will come too quickly for goodbyes. The brilliance of this choice is that it makes us feel devastation before we even see it unfold, training us to expect that the story will end in fragments, not resolutions. The imagery also leans heavily on symbols of departure. A ship rocking in the distance but never reaching shore, a fire burning low, then disappearing into smoke, a ring pressed into a palm and then let go. Each of these moments carries the weight of closure. The ship says journeys are ending. The fire says warmth will not last. The ring says promises may break. They are not loud symbols. They're quiet, almost tender, which is what makes them so haunting. The devastation is not in the destruction, but in the acceptance that destruction is inevitable. The music crescendos here, but not in triumph. The strings bend, almost screeching, then fall silent, leaving only the sound of footsteps. This silence feels like a void. It does not comfort, it isolates. It forces us to sit in the grief of what we have seen. For a show that has carried audiences through wars, revolutions, and centuries, ending a trailer in silence is a daring choice. It tells us that the story will not leave us with answers. Only with the raw ache of absence, fan speculation has turned this final stretch into a storm of questions. Who will be left standing when the last frame fades to black? Will Jamie and Claire finally find peace? Or will they be written into history as another tragic love story torn apart by time? Is the devastation we see a death, a separation, or something far worse, the slow erosion of memory, love slipping away not by force, but by forgetting? These questions are the trailer's final gift. They keep us awake at night, replaying every flicker of light, every tremble of voice, searching for answers that may never come. The uniqueness of this ending lies in how it reframes devastation. It is not only about characters we may lose. It is about the audience losing the world we have lived in for years. When the final season ends, there will be no more journeys through stones, no more desperate reunions, no more whispers of Sassenach across battlefields. The devastation belongs to us as much as it does to the Frasers. The trailer dares us to ask if we are strong enough to watch the end unfold, knowing that when the screen goes dark, we too will have to let go. The final section of this script must carry the same weight as the trailer itself, a reminder that endings are not gentle, and that Outlander's farewell will be written in the language of heartbreak. The image is slow to a crawl, almost as if time itself wants to savor the pain. Jamie and Claire's hands are shown one last time, fingers locked together, their silhouettes framed against a fading light. It looks like a promise, but it feels like a goodbye. The devastation is not hidden here. It is plain, raw, and inescapable. The story is telling us clearly, every love, no matter how fierce, must eventually face its final test. This is where the audience feels the shift from fiction into mourning. For years, viewers have traveled through wars, revolutions, and centuries, with the Frasers holding their breath, as love always found a way back. The trailer's final shots suggest that perhaps this time there will be no return. No miraculous reunion, no hidden doorway through time. Instead, the devastation may be the quiet acceptance that even the strongest bond cannot escape the cruelty of history forever. It is a chilling reminder that Outlander has always been about time, and time always wins. The trailer closes not with victory, but with silence. The music cuts, the screen fades, and we are left staring into darkness. It feels like an open wound, unfinished, yet final. Fans are already debating what this ending means, but the truth is that it may not matter. The devastation is in the journey itself, in knowing that every step toward Season 8 is a step toward farewell. The silence tells us that words are not enough anymore. The story has spoken all it can. Now, it will end, and it will end on its own terms. The uniqueness of this conclusion lies in how it binds the audience to the pain. We are not just observers, we are participants in the loss. The trailer positions us alongside the characters, forcing us to carry their grief as if it were our own. When Claire says there are no safe harbors left, she is speaking to us as much. As to Jamie, when Jamie looks at her with eyes heavy with goodbye, he is looking at us too. The devastation is not distant. It belongs to us now. And so the final question remains. Are we ready? Are we ready to watch a love story that defied centuries bend beneath the weight of time? Out. Are we ready to let go of characters who became family? Of a world that felt like home? Of a story that taught us love could outlast almost anything? The trailer does not answer. It only stares back, silent, daring us to follow to the end. The devastation is real, and it is coming. Outlander Season 8 is not promising comfort, it is promising truth. The truth that love is beautiful, fragile, and finite, and that saying goodbye to it may hurt more than anything else we have faced with the Frasers. And yet, even in devastation, we will watch, because we must, because their story has become ours.